Imagine a future where artificial intelligence unveils the secrets of the fate of nations. Today, we focus on the United States and what could happen after the re-election of Donald Trump. This journey takes us through uncertain terrain, where political decisions and technological power create paths that could alter the course of history. Artificial intelligence doesn't predict with certainty, but it can outline the probabilities of certain events based on past patterns, current trends, and the most advanced data. Is the future of the United States a path of growth or decline? We'll explore this question through the scenarios that AI considers most likely. Some of these revelations may serve as warnings, signals of an uncertain future. Are you ready to discover the dark side of these predictions? Get ready to see how artificial intelligence unravels the possible fate of one of the world's most powerful nations. Scenario 1. Widespread extreme polarization. AI analyzes the changes that a Trump re-election could trigger in American society. Current divisions would intensify further, provoking polarization that would affect every aspect of life. Divisive policies and rhetoric can foster a climate of mistrust. Citizens with different ideologies might view each other as enemies, weakening the sense of community. This increase in polarization could make daily life marked by constant conflict. Families, friendships, and workplaces could turn into battlegrounds of irreconcilable opinions. An example of this is the rise in regions voting unanimously for a single party, creating ideological bubbles where opposing information and opinions become virtually invisible. Moreover, AI suggests that media plays a crucial role in this polarization. Media manipulation and social media algorithms reinforce biases, causing each group to live in its own version of reality. AI experts warn that these divisions could be exploited by foreign powers, increasing the risk of international interference. Extreme polarization facilitates social manipulation and the creation of internal conflicts. The predictions suggest that, rather than unifying the country, the future may see the U.S. fragmenting into factions, each convinced they hold the absolute truth. This could lead to a decrease in the global power of the United States, with allies and enemies alike watching as internal tensions weaken its influence. Scenario 2. Climate change and widespread scientific denial. On the environmental front, artificial intelligence predicts a possible regression in the fight against climate change, a crucial factor for any nation's future. AI projects that if climate denial policies persist, the United States will face unprecedented environmental degradation. Fires, hurricanes, and other natural catastrophes would become increasingly devastating. The country's coastal areas would be at risk of permanent flooding, impacting millions of people. Cities like Miami and New Orleans could suffer large-scale economic losses and human displacement. In rural and agricultural areas, changes in climate patterns would affect crops. AI suggests that food costs could rise dramatically, impacting millions of households. The economic impact of these climate changes could be devastating. According to the models, the country would spend hundreds of billions of dollars on recovery and adaptation, weakening its economy. Additionally, climate change tensions could affect foreign policy. Other countries investing in sustainability might view the U.S. as a threat to the global fight against climate change. Recurrent natural disasters could lead to a humanitarian crisis, where thousands or even millions of people would need urgent help. The country's infrastructure might not be prepared for such high demand. Scenario 3. Technological advancement and widespread information control. The third scenario that AI envisions is a future where information control reaches unprecedented levels. Technology becomes a weapon to manipulate and shape reality. AI predicts increased surveillance over citizens, with technologies that monitor every aspect of daily life, from social media interactions to physical world behavior. This control could be subtle yet constant. Algorithms that control what we see on social media would only show a part of reality, the version that those in power find convenient. Dissenting messages would be discouraged or even silenced by these algorithms, creating a bubble where the average citizen only hears one narrative. Privacy and data control laws could change, allowing the government and corporations to track citizens' movements and activities in real time. This future, where the reality we perceive is filtered and manipulated, leads to an almost total control of information. Public opinions are shaped, and political decisions are legitimized through this new system. The risk of living in a controlled reality is that citizens would no longer question the truth presented to them. Future generations might grow up in an environment where distrust and questioning are obsolete. Artificial intelligence warns that this level of control could limit free will and people's ability to make informed decisions, turning them into mere spectators of a script written by others. Scenario 4: widespread economic inequality and social crisis. Finally, AI warns about the impact of economic inequality, a growing problem that could intensify in this future. The gap between rich and poor would deepen even further. The wealthiest sectors could benefit from favorable economic policies, while the middle and lower classes struggle with rising living costs and lack of opportunities. The price of basic goods and services would rise, while wages for most workers remain stagnant. This would create economic pressure, pushing many families into poverty. The lack of opportunities would generate frustration, especially among young people who would face a future of uncertainty and limitations. AI predicts that this frustration could trigger mass protests and social unrest. AI also projects an increase in violence and crime rates, especially in urban and suburban areas, due to economic and social despair. Cities would become conflict zones, where police and security forces confront protesters and social movements seeking equality and justice. This climate of tension and inequality could test the nation's stability, creating a fractured society where resentment and distrust are the norm. Conclusion: these scenarios show us a future where each choice has profound consequences. Artificial intelligence not only warns us of what could happen, but of what we can still avoid. Technology has the power to reveal these paths, but it's also up to us to understand its warnings and make the necessary changes to avoid the worst outcomes. This dark future, where power and control spread over society, is not inevitable, but it reminds us that each action, each law, and each decision brings us closer to or further from this destiny. Thank you for joining us on Prophecies of AI. If you want to keep exploring the dark knowledge that technology and the future offer, subscribe and join us on this journey of discovery. Until the next revelation.